Genesis 37 begins the story of Joseph, a story of dreams, betrayal, and the mysterious hand of God working through suffering to accomplish his purposes. Jacob, also called Israel, lived in the land of Canaan where his father had sojourned. This is the account of Jacob's family. Joseph, a young man of 17, was tending the flocks with his brothers, the sons of Bilhah and Zilpah, his father's concubines. And Joseph brought their father a bad report about them. Now Israel loved Joseph more than any of his other sons, because he was the son of his old age, born to him through Rachel. To show his special love, Jacob made him a richly ornamented robe, a coat of many colors. When his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all of them, they hated Joseph and could not speak a kind word to him. Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him all the more. He said, "Listen to this dream I had. We were binding sheaves of grain out in the field when suddenly my sheaf rose and stood upright, while your sheaves gathered around mine and bowed down to it." His brothers said, "Do you intend to reign over us? Will you actually rule us?" And they hated him still more because of his dreams and his words. Then Joseph had another dream. He told it to his brothers. This time the sun and moon and 11 stars were bowing down to me. When he told his father as well, Jacob rebuked him. "Will I, your mother, and your brothers actually come and bow down to the ground before you?" Yet Jacob kept the matter in mind. Joseph's brothers went to graze their father's flocks near Shechem, and Israel said to Joseph, "Go and see if all is well with your brothers and with the flocks, and bring word back to me." So Joseph went. But when his brothers saw him coming in the distance wearing his special robe, they plotted against him. "Here comes the dreamer," they said. "Come now, let's kill him and throw him into one of the pits. We'll say that a ferocious animal devoured him, then we'll see what becomes of his dreams." But Reuben, the firstborn, tried to rescue him. He said, "Let's not take his life, don't shed blood. Throw him into this cistern here in the wilderness, but don't lay a hand on him." Reuben said this to rescue Joseph and return him to his father later. When Joseph reached them, they stripped him of his robe, the richly ornamented coat he was wearing, and they threw him into the empty cistern. As they sat down to eat their meal, they looked up and saw a caravan of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead. Their camels were loaded with spices, balm, and myrrh, and they were on their way to Egypt. Judah said, "What will we gain if we kill our brother and cover up his blood? Come, let's sell him to the Ishmaelites and not lay our hands on him. After all, he is our brother, our own flesh and blood." His brothers agreed. So they pulled Joseph up out of the cistern and sold him for 20 shekels of silver to the Ishmaelites, who took him to Egypt. When Reuben returned to the cistern and found Joseph gone, he tore his clothes. He went back to his brothers and said, "The boy is not there. Where can I go?" They killed a goat and dipped Joseph's robe in its blood. They took the ornamented robe back to their father and said, "We found this. Examine it to see whether it is your son's robe." Jacob recognized it and said, "It is my son's robe. A wild animal has devoured him. Joseph has surely been torn to pieces." Jacob tore his clothes, put on sackcloth, and mourned for his son many days. All his sons and daughters came to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. "No," he said, "I will continue to mourn until I join my son in the grave." So his father wept for him. Meanwhile, the Midianites sold Joseph in Egypt to Potiphar, one of Pharaoh's officials, the captain of the guard. Genesis 37 is a chapter of sorrow and mystery. Jealousy turned brothers into betrayers. A father who showed favoritism set his family on a path of division. Dreams from God provoked hatred and violence. But behind the robe, the pit, and the silver coins was the invisible hand of God. Joseph's journey into Egypt was not the end of his dreams, but the beginning of God's greater plan. A plan that would preserve life, reconcile a broken family, and point to a redeemer greater than Joseph. When people betray you, when dreams seem shattered, when grief covers the house, God is still at work. What men mean for evil, God can turn for good. Next comes Genesis 38, a very different story, the account of Judah and Tamar, showing us the flaws of Judah's line, yet also preparing the way for God's grace to break through in surprising ways.